We were burnt out on work. We both just got married a year and a half ago. We were, we're 2 years into having our son. Why not go live a non-traditional lifestyle and get out of the grind of the 40-hour work week where we never see each other and don't get to spend any time with our kids. And I got in bed and I was like, what if we bought a school bus and traveled? And she was like, haha, yeah, like that would be cool, but what are the, like, how do people even do that? That was our first question, how do you provide while you're on the road for a year? And then the next day we were like, you know what, that might actually be a good timing opportunity for us to maybe look into like living on an RV full time. So we initially got the bus and we were just gonna like redo a few things. We were gonna raise the roof, so we had to redo the ceiling anyway, so we knew we had to take a couple walls out to extend them up. We had some incredible friends that helped us. At one point I think we might have even had like 15 people working on it at the same time. Without them, we did this whole build out in 5 weeks. We nailed it on the friendship aspect of having people that could give us honest answers about things that we didn't know how to do or what to do. We had a skilled carpenter that was here 24/7. Our bus was at his house, so we had all the tools we needed when he wasn't around. And when he was around, we had knowledge that you just can't get for free anywhere, and we had it right there at our disposal. It was all community oriented, and it was all through my career as a barber. I'm Kyle Pemberton, and this is my wife Jasmine and my son Kason. This is our home, The Art of Now. This is what we live on full time. Let's go check it out. So we have a 1994 Bluebird flat-nose school bus. We bought the bus partially converted already. We decided that we wanted to make it our own, so we decided to gut it completely. We used the things that came with the bus and we made it ourselves on the inside, which you'll get to see with Jasmine, but I'm going to show you guys all the way around the outside here. We obviously repainted the bus. It's not the original yellow. It's just a house grade paint. We're gonna actually go through and redo the paint now that we've learned our lesson. We'd like to do a spray application instead of a roller application this time. We're getting some flaking and some peeling, but basic stuff from branches and wind and hail and rain. All of our buses get a little weathered as we go. We sealed the roof with roof coating, so the whole roof is coated. We did that because we decided that we were going to do a roof raise. So with the roof raise, we obviously had some gaps to fill with the roof sealant. We used a Henry's roof coat sealant that is a silicone base. It's Henry's Tropicool, and we did that throughout the whole entire roof. That took about 2.5 gallons to do. We did a 12-inch roof raise. So we raised the roof internally 12 inches and externally 12 inches. We did a non-traditional style. We did not cut the hat channel down the middle and do a window delete. We decided to do it tin can style, open it up like a tin can and keep it simple. Solar, we're really lacking on actually. We only have 160 watts a panel. As most people say in the schoolie community, live and learn. We can charge our cell phones, we can charge our laptop, we can run our LED lights, we can run some small electronics off of it, but other than that, we're really lacking on the solar side of things. We have a measly 140 amp hours of battery and 160 watts of panel. It gives us about 6 hours of full charge time on our laptop and about 2 or 3 phone charges in a night. So not a whole lot of solar, but we're getting there. So we have our water fill here, just a traditional RV water fill. I don't have the key to open it up and show you, but we have the hose inlet, and then we also have a spot where we can hook up a hose so that we can both fill our tank and so that we can also run off of a plug-in water hose. Down below we have a little bit of storage, and we also have our freshwater tanks. This is a 40-gallon freshwater tank. It lasts us about 2.5 weeks. We're a family of 3 plus a 70-pound dog. We don't use a ton of water. We try to use it sparingly. We also would like to upgrade this one day, but as you go, you upgrade many things. Gray water tank and also more storage. 40 gallons each, so we have 40 gallons of gray water and we have 40 gallons of fresh water. Pretty light compared to most schoolies. We did it for the weight, trying to cut down on fuel mileage. We also haul a car behind us, so we already have the friction of the car behind us and the gravity fighting against us. So the more weight we have, the more weight we have, the worse fuel mileage we get. The lighter we are, the more fuel mileage we get, is what we like to think. But we have a Dometic 6-gallon tank water heater. It's not on demand, it is a tank. It's propane run. We are blessed to have propane on our bus. That is a lifesaver for us. So that runs off of electric and or propane. We have both options. This is where we get the nectar of the gods, as we call it, diesel fuel. This is where we fill up. It goes right into our bathroom wall inside, and then we have a 60-gallon fuel tank that lasts us about 500 miles. So we have a back deck. It was once a motorcycle deck for the person before us. We now use it for storage, and in the future we would like to use it as a pull-out toolbox. We plan to build a 10-inch toolbox on top that's the full width and the full length. I think we're right around 4 feet in length. I'm not sure what the complete width is from side to side that we could fit on there yet, but it would be awesome to have some tools for on the road. We carry everything in the trunk of the Corolla right now, so we're really lacking on tool space. We have a backup camera up there. The backup camera is on Fulltime. We can always see the car behind us. We can always see all of our storage containers. We also have a record option on our camera, so we can always have security on the bus and on the car at all times. We also have security camera stickers so people know not to mess with the bus, which we've never had any issues with. Underneath we've got more storage. This tends to be where all of our fuel substances are. So we've got the gas can for the generator. This is our propane. We're running 2 normal size propane tanks that you'd run on any RV. I have a few tools down here. We store a lot of our flammable fluids down here as well. Down here we store our generator, and we also have our mini breaker box. This goes from our solar to our charge controller. This is what controls plug-in power, or shore power as most people call it, versus solar power. We have just 2 12-volt marine deep cycle batteries, and we have a 2,000 watt inverter. And then we have the Predator 3500 inverter generator, which, as most people that are living the nomadic lifestyle know, this generator is awesome. And then on the roof, we have a deck. It is 80 square feet. The roof deck is made out of 5/4 redwood wood. We decided to go thinner so that it could be lower profile and that it could be lighter. We don't want to have too much weight on the roof, as we have worries about the roof collapsing if we're anywhere where there's a lot of snow. So we like to just travel different climates at different times of the year, and we're never sure where we're going to be.
All right, welcome to the inside of my home. This space is very efficient for my son and my dog. They love to play, so the wide open layout, it makes sense most for us. And now we travel as a family, see new places, and connect with new people. So it's awesome. So this is the cockpit area. My husband's the driver. A couple of his favorite things is we have the backup camera. We haul my car behind it, so it's super nice that he's always able to keep an eye on that. And then we have our navigation, which is super nice, hands-free always. But yeah, other than that, the only thing that we added, we made a little makeshift switch for our fan. We had a little issue in the beginning, but you know, makeshift things work the best. So, and then as you come in, this is the mudroom area. We decided to do these foam pieces of flooring here because they're easier to clean, and then it's kind of like my son's play area. He plays up here all the time. And then our couches. We have our little coat room, as I like to call it. And then you'll step in a little bit more. We have our refrigerator and our little pantry space up here. Love to have this so nothing falls out, never have to move anything when we're getting ready to move the bus. The fridge, it runs on solar and propane, which is super awesome. It's a Dometic, it's an RV fridge. It's super great because it's full size. The freezer holds an entire deer. So my husband's a hunter, he shot a deer, and we don't have to worry about meat on the road. So this is the dining room area. As we eat, we pull it out because it makes more sense for room. Eventually we want to put in a live edge bar so that we can just have stools rather than having to pull things out and fold things up whenever we drive. And then over here we have our inverter, which reads all of our solar. We are able to turn it off from the inside, which is super awesome. I know that a lot of other people have to go outside to turn their inverter off. And then just some mail storage here, which is very helpful to mom. Then over here we have our cubic mini wood stove, which does pellet and wood, which is super small but cute. It's super nice. It heats the bus up. We use it a lot. We just have to stoke it about every 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. So that's the only complaint we would have about it. And then down here is just, you know, all our other storage stuff. So this is where me and my son ride when we drive the bus. We have the car seat in the car when we park the bus, but then when we drive, we both ride in here and I sit there. We even have lap belts that we just hide, but yeah. So this is the kitchen. We have a 2-burner propane stove. The propane, as you saw, was outside. And then drawers and cabinets all here. And then underneath we have some awesome storage space that we just use for cleaning supplies, and then a lot of tools and stuff for my husband, which is awesome. So this one actually is just a fake drawer. There's nothing here. And then this one is my pots and pans and cutting boards. I just have, I have a soup pot, and then I have a saucepan. Those are the only pots I have. And then I have my griddle, and then I have a frying pan. 4 pans makes it really simple for space. Down here is our kind of water bottle drawer. We got rid of all of our plastic water bottles other than our shakers and upgraded just to metal so that we don't have to worry about replacing them. They last a lot longer on the road and they keep your drinks cooler. This one is our silverware drawer. And then we have some, you know, mixed in can openers, drink holders, utensils, and measuring supplies in this one. Okay, and then this one's my favorite drawer. We have a bunch of bowls that are collapsible, which is super handy for space. We have our strainer, and then we also have another one. So if you guys ever see those, super handy to have. Dry storage, and then underneath is toys. It's my son's toy area, and then dog area as well. She eats here, and then we have some tools on the sides and underneath. Every little space we can find, we kind of have storage. So this is the shower. When we do use the shower, but when we're not using the shower, we do use it as storage. Like I said, every little space counts, especially this one. It's nice and open. It's almost acts as if our closet when we're not using the shower. So all right, and then over here we kind of have another closet area. It kind of keeps our towels, bathroom stuff, dog supplies up here. And then underneath is our hot water heater, as well as the potty training area. It's important to have. And then over here on this side we have bunk beds. On the top is my son's bunk. He sleeps up here. And then below we use it as storage slash dresser space for us. To the right, this is our bathroom area. We have some storage here, which we kind of just keep like the toilet paper, laundry soap, and then we have our Nature's Head toilet, our compost toilet over here, as well as broom and mop and stuff like that. So this is our closet here. We have the hanging space as well as space to fold our clothes. We have like a makeshift dresser here. The previous owner used this as their pantry. We now use it as our dresser. Shoes are below here, and then some outdoor kind of miscellaneous winterish stuff up here. All right, and then this is the bedroom. It's a queen size bed. It's super, one cool thing that I learned about the bed is it's got the roll out bed frame. So we just roll out pieces of wood that go underneath, which makes it super easy to access underneath. If we wanted to take out the whole bed and just roll up the things, it would be super easy to grab everything from underneath the bed. And it's super comfy. We do have a 32-inch TV. A lot of people ask us if we have a TV. We don't watch a lot of TV. We just mainly utilize it for our son, who likes to watch movies every now and again. All right, and then this is our, we fold our clothes up here, and then kind of our library, movie, extra storage hat area. I would say that we're all very well adjusted, and it's finally starting to come together the way that we wanted it to.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me was like, you just go and you just learn, and we went right for the highway, highway 1. We went right for the worst. We don't really have a timed plan. We're just going with the flow, and if we meet one person, we meet one person. If we meet 50, we meet 50. And people that don't live this lifestyle don't immerse themselves in that. I don't feel like they truly understand that.
It's awesome. It's amazing. We're able to be with him every day, so he's able to, I feel like, learn a lot more. When we're on walks, it's not just walks. We're learning about nature and colors and animals and shapes, and I feel like he gets a broader experience of the world. He also is able, and Kimber too, she's been a barbershop dog her entire life, so she loves people. But being on the road, she's been able to get more comfortable with other dogs and mellow out around other animals. And Kason loves people, and so he's able just to go socialize and be a little social butterfly. And I think for us, it's just been heartwarming. We've been able to experience the little things that we were missing out on. And
I am passionate about barbering. I started a thing called Sensory Sundays, where I'd open up the shop for 1-hour individualized appointments for a specific person. and we would cut their hair, and I would do whatever I had to do to get them a haircut. So that's where the passion really started to hit home, is because there's so many people out there that need this help, and they're so overlooked. So the art of now is all about connection, whether it be through haircutting, whether it be through hygiene bags, or whether it be through just simple conversation. So we're actually sponsored by Red Wing Boot Company out of Bozeman, Montana, and they give us free boots to give away to people in need.
So we put together hygiene bags, and I just like to get out there and connect with people and let them know that they're loved and they're meant to be here, and where you are at right now does not define you. So that's my passion, and that's where I come from.
Our ultimate goal is to open up a pay-as-you-can barbershop in every major city in the U.S. If you want to do it, just do it. Everything is going to be scary in life, but until you take that leap of faith, you're never going to know, and I'd rather know than question it. I can always go back and rent a house. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
But I'll never have the experiences that I've had on the road unless it's in that exact moment of that exact day at that exact second.
Stop dreaming and make it a reality. I mean, it's only as hard as you make it. Like, we literally gave up everything to make our dreams come true. Like, work hard every single day and you'll get there. It's going to take time, and just to be patient. You know, patience is the key. You can't rush things. You have to let them happen the way that they're supposed to.
Like the way that all this happened, it was all supposed to happen.
Wait a second, you put a deer in there?
Yes, sir.
You had to cut it up first, right?
Absolutely. No, just the whole thing. Antlers and all, you know.
I was going to say. All right, and then working your way over here.
I found myself being more of a manager some days, and less of a
Well, he didn't like that.
Kimber.
less of a worker other days.
Stop.